All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, all this Staten Island, my home borough, Brooklyn. Back at it is going to be the final entry into my Greatest of All Time series on Mr. Tupac Shakur. This is going to be on his posthumous career. Now, as we all know, Pac was shot on September 7, 1996 after the Mike Tyson fight in Vegas and died 6 days later on September 13th, 1996. And his legacy, and as Kobe Bryant once said, rest in peace. Heroes come and go, but legends are forever. Tupac is forever. And, in the aftermath of his death, little mini documentary was released called Tupac Forever, released in the aftermath of his death. You know, it's true. It's true what they say, man, because Pac's never really died. He's still been remembered. Of course, aftermath, his album was released, Machiavelli, Don Illuminati, 7 Day Theory. It's had a couple of bangers on it. Of course, a bunch of diss records, beefing with Nas, Mobb Deep, as well. No Biggie, Puffy. He threw shots at Dre and Haitian Jack, and threw shots at a Jay-Z even. I'm a bad boy killer. Jay-Z died too. Looking out for Mobb Deep niggas when I find you. I'm saying? Live and Die in L.A. It had some bangers on it. And of course, Are You Still Down? Remember Me, Until the End of Time, Better Days, Loyal to the Game, Pac's Life. That all came in the aftermath of his death, man. So Pac's never really died. And of course, all the artists that came after him have paid tribute to Tupac Shakur. And Tupac definitely is one of the most influential, probably the most influential rapper of all time. He's up there with NWA, and I even put 3 6 Mafia in that class. I did a Greatest of All Time on 3 6 Mafia. You can check it out down below. DMX and Nas. He's probably the top dude. I know it may not seem like that because all these young kids are disrespecting him and all the other OGs of hip hop lately. I know that, but when we really get down to it, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Tupac. He came to the West Coast and repped the West Coast with a passion, to the point where the West Coast never really recovered after Pac's death. The West Coast has never recovered after Tupac died. After that whole G-Funk era and Tupac's death, that was the end of the West Coast. We all know what happened with Death Row. Not really going to get into all that, but, Snoop couldn't really carry the torch. Dre went on to do other things, All them other guys weren't on his level as a superstar, so the West really felt. They had the Game. They had Kendrick Lamar. The West Coast had a little renaissance back in the 2010s, the mid 2010s. DJ Mustard on that beat. Oh, and that whole ratchet music. They called it ratchet. YG, Tyga, Chris Brown, everybody who Chris Brown's from Virginia. They all tried that ratchet music. Kendrick Lamar had his little thing. And of course, you got Tyler, the Creator, who definitely had his own thing. But they had a little short spell. But the West Coast has never really recovered from Pac's death. They never had, again, they had a short little spell, but other than that, they've never really recovered. And even ratchet music, not to go there, not to get off topic, but ratchet music has origins in the Bay Area. The Bay Area in Oakland has hyphy music, but that's whatever. Back to Tupac, Of course, this is the Tupac Resurrection documentary that got nominated for an Academy Award, deservingly so. Probably should have won. And this is the best Tupac, of all the Tupac documentaries I've seen, obviously after his death, this is by far the best one. It's even better than the movie. Better than All Eyes on Me. Better than Tupac Forever. Better than Biggie and Tupac. Better than Tupac, Thug Immortal. All that posthumous shit. Documentaries that have been released about him. This is by far the best one. And then, of course, the soundtrack. That song that him and Biggie did got released. And of course, Eminem was on it. A bunch of other people was on this shit, man. Nas had Pac on one of his songs on his Godson album. But yeah, again, nothing against the brother Demetri Shipp Jr. None against him at all. He's a talented actor. I've seen him in other flicks. He's a talented actor, but this film was just, All Eyes on Me was just not good. As you can see, I don't know if y'all can see, this is the untold story of Tupac Shakur. But if you watch the movie, it's everything everybody already knew. As if you studied Pac's career. But it's obvious why Demetrius got the role, and it's obvious why. But you know what? It is what it is. Now, this is the Tupac effect. Look, everybody's copied him in the immediate aftermath of his death. Everybody copied him. Obviously, we see Ja Rule here. See Nas shirtless, tattoo, all tatted up. Godson across the belly, as Nas said. And one of his diss tracks towards Jay-Z. Yeah, rappers weren't really flashing tattoos like that. Pac was the first one to do it. Then you had like all these guys in the aftermath. And then, the Southern rappers took it to another level because they were getting tatted up on their faces and their necks. But that's where obviously he see 50 Cent, It's ironic 50 Cent and DMX were coming at Ja Rule for copying Pac, but you see here's 50 Cent, the headband, shirt off. Of course, this is an artist picture of Kendrick Lamar. You see small Kendrick Lamar and Tupac. I guess it's his father, his mentor. You see their shadows. They got two crowns over it. Kendrick Lamar definitely was, to me, the best. If we're talking about skill and talent, he was probably the best rapper of the last 10 years. Okay, now, overall, if we're talking about commercial success and, influence, that's probably been Drake. But, Drake, Kanye West, you can say Gucci Mane and Chief Keef and all these other dudes, but Kendrick, bar for bar, talent, albums, songs wise, in terms of making you think and making you feel a certain way, he's definitely been the best. You know, and if we're talking about post Tupac, post '96, then we get into Nas and Eminem and Three Stacks and Jay-Z and Kanye and Kendrick. But Kendrick's right there. You can make a case that he's number one post Tupac. But anyway, obviously here's Eminem. They try Eminem as the king of rap. Is Eminem the king of hip hop? No, but this is the Elvis programming. They're trying to make Eminem the Elvis of hip hop because they call Elvis the king of rock and roll, which is invented by black people. They try to call Eminem the king of rap. He's not, but I definitely respect Eminem. I did a greatest of all time on him. But let's recap. Tupac Shakur, his career, 91 through 96. 4 albums released. 5 of them, all 4 are classics in my opinion. Legendary songs, Keep Your Head Up, Brenda's Got a Baby, California Love, I Get Around, He changed the way we listen to hip hop. He influenced a bunch of artists that came after him. He influences. It wasn't for Tupac, we'd be no Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, or DMX, or 50, and Nas, and Jay. No, even no Gucci Mane, no Tip, no all the way down to Young Boy and Sosa. None of them dudes. It wasn't for Pop, man. He's probably the most talented person in hip hop because he was a great actor. I thought he did very well, and obviously here dressed as Bishop, Lucky, Birdie, and Juice, Above the Rim, and Poetic Justice. He had great movies, posthumous movies, Gridlocked and Gang Related. He put on for the West Coast. He uplifted the whole entire West Coast. I mean, the West Coast was already starting to take over, with the G-Funk sound in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. But when Tupac came to their team, Death Row, it was over, man. He was involved in probably the biggest beef in the history of rap. Unfortunately, a deadly beef, and they've made many documentaries about that. He's one of the greatest lyricists of all time. Is he the greatest? I'd say no. But he's definitely up there. He can hold his own. He's definitely top 7, top 10. His influence, his impact is felt upon hip hop to this day. They're still making documentaries and movies about this dude to this day. He's been dead for this year will be 25 years. It's been 25 years since his death. I'm not going to get into all who killed Tupac, who shot him, and why and what happened. I'm not going to get all that. But I have my opinion. And if you want to figure out who did it, watch the documentary Murder Rap Inside the Biggie and Tupac Murders. That detective Greg Kading, he did a good job. But what do y'all think? Is Tupac the greatest rapper of all time? Or just an aside, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The first solo rapper to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The first rapper was Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, but the first solo rapper to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now Biggie Smalls is following. Who knows who else will follow? Eminem might follow. Jay-Z might follow. Whomever. But what y'all think? Click the like button, subscribe, help a young brother grow on YouTube. Comment down below, man. What y'all think of this series, the greatest of all time on Tupac Shakur, part 1, 2, and 3. Rest in peace, Tupac Amaru Shakur, the same Parish Crooks, Machiavelli the Don. We miss you, man. You're a legend. You're an icon. We'll see you on the other side, I guess. All right? I'm going to see you all.